All right, we've got a question here from Bob that is just coming in. Bob wants to know any liability on the part of designated groups, Mardi Gras crews that are throwing beads and you get hurt or you are injured. And I think Mobile has put they're asking people not to throw beads on Fat Tuesday, although with how cold it's looking Fat Tuesday, I don't know how big the crowds are going to be, but who wants to take on that question? Any liability on the part of groups or Mardi Gras crews that throw beads and hurt people?
You know, I think I was on this show last year, and I think we talked about this, and there are just so many factors that come into play. But off the top of my head, I'd say, you know, look, you go to Mardi Gras, and you just need to pay attention to what's going on, because something's going to hit you. I mean, and unless you can prove that these people are out of control drunk and they're throwing, 10 pounds of beads, I think it'd be a really hard case. I know I've been hit by plenty of beads. Maybe it's because people recognize who I was. I don't know. But that's a tough case. At some point, you got to take responsibility. You know where you're going. You kind of have to pay attention. Probably have a hard time too trying to prove who threw them, or just a lot of factors go into that. It'd be unfortunate, and look, you could clearly get hurt with a lot of those things. They make some beads now that are pretty heavy, and probably could inflict some damage. But hell, people are still out there trying to catch them. So Bill might have a different take on that.
Yeah, Bill, I know. I don't know if it was last Mardi Gras season or maybe the year before, but there were some reports of certain crews, were like heavy objects, shoes, locks, different things that were being thrown at people. And I think you might have even had one of the cases where a child, I believe, was hit in the forehead.
Right.
Was that a case that you had?
Yes, and first of all, I want to say that I agree with Russ 100%. When you go down there, especially an adult, you basically assume the risk. You know that things are going to come flying at you. People throw things, they throw them too hard. You know that. Things like that happen. But especially with a child, children, they are not at the same mental capacity as we are. And so if they get pelted by something that should not be thrown, and I will tell you this, unfortunately, a lot of Mardi Gras associations, they throw things that should not be thrown from Mardi Gras floats, such as, Russ mentioned, 10 pounds of beads and things of that nature. I will tell you that most of these societies, they have in their rules and regulations as to what you can and what you can't do. And we've seen some examples of people throwing things off the floats that they should not be throwing whatsoever, that are too heavy, or, we've seen some crazy things last year. And Andrea, I think you may have reported, there's, people are throwing in some parades, rotisserie chickens, batteries, miniature liquor bottles, things of that nature that should never be thrown from a lot. And lots is the other thing that we've seen thrown, but nothing that those things should never be thrown from a float. And people, if you get hit by that, you should not be judged by thinking that that's going to happen, because those are things that should never be thrown from a float.